I'm so bad.
You thought they were really saying "In the Garden of Eva"?
In the Garden of Evil, baby. What is it? In the Garden of Vida? What is it?
It's like "In the Garden of Eva."
I think it's In the Garden of Vida. What is the actual lyric there? In the Garden of Evil?
No, I thought it was "In the Garden of Eva" for real.
I think that's what it is.
Like I think that was the joke, and then it was like that was actually the lyric. Like, and it's like you look up the song name, it's like that's what it is. Like,
dude, I can't remember lyrics to save my life. There are songs that I've known my whole life that I just love, and I just can't do it. I'm terrible with that. Terrible with it. My goodness.
That's like the Mandela effect about song lyrics. It's like what's the last lyric of the song "We Are the Champions"?
Of the world.
No, it's just "We Are the Champions." It ends on "We Are the Champions."
Oh, okay.
But a lot of people like the Mandela effect. They were like, with that lyric, they're like, everybody was like, it ends with "of the world," right? It's like, no, it ends with "We are the champions," and then it stops.
Dude, you want to talk about songs that'll get people pumped up in a stadium for a sporting event?
Make them say by Master P.
We will rock you is
that's funny.
Into "We Are the Champions."
There's a cultural analysis there.
Yes, no. How did you grow up,
What
Tony?
song makes you hype?
Yeah. Well, at a sporting event.
They know. They make them say Master P.
Okay.
Make them say DMX, Down Bottom. Rough Riders anthem. Like,
are they playing this are they playing that kind of music at stadiums?
I've heard this.
Oh wow.
Well, I guess it depends what you're going to. Like, it's like, I guess if you go to like certain football games or basketball games or baseball games, what are you going to? I went to a Yankees game in New York, and they were playing like Christian music. Depends where you're at, what sporting event, what sport itself it is.
That's wild.
But yeah, no.
Welcome to the new set, my friend.
I suppose we are here.
We are here in the new set. We spent a lot of money on wood. We spent a lot of money on nails. We spent a lot of money on varnish and stain.
Veneer.
Veneer. Yeah, no, I'm just joking. But this is the new set. How do we look, everybody? Eventually, I think we're going to maybe get a sign of some sort. Perhaps the wave. Maybe the wave.
A wave is good.
A wave is good.
The great wave of what's the name of the painting? The great Japanese wave.
Oh, dude, that's such a beautiful piece of artwork.
I seen somebody make it out of Legos because I was following that Lego channel where they would stop motion the whole Lego sets or whatever.
Unbelievable channel. What is it? Beyond the Brick? No, not Beyond the Brick.
I think it is.
Is it Beyond the Brick?
That sounds right.
Sounds right?
That sounds correct.
That's another YouTube search for you.
People got a bajillion Legos stacked up. It's funny how Legos kind of, it seems like they became more of an adult hobby. And it seems that way because they've gotten so big. Like the kids' Lego sets were kind of like smaller, and now they got like these like 3,000 piece. Like this is not really geared towards a child.
No, for sure. I think what happened was the generation that grew up on Legos are older now, and they still want it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I gotta give them what they want.
Yeah, get
the people going.
Walmart has a pirate ship Lego set that I want. It's like $100. So I'm like,
Victor has these books at home. It's a collection of books, and it's about Legos, and it's kind of like it's cool. It's like an encyclopedia for like minifigures, and it shows like all these cool stats, like what year this was introduced. There were only like 100 of these made because he had a sash that had a slightly different color on it, and it's like, oh, these are ultra rare. So it's really interesting to look through those books and see some of the different variations of minifigures, or minifigs as they call them, with all the different licenses. You know, you get Star Wars and the Pirates and all this stuff. So it was kind of cool. The castle set, I remember building that one as a kid.
Yeah, now some of the modern toys are crazy. They're awesome. And in some cases, I'm like, this toy is cheap as crap. Like, you always come across these action figures that you can't even change their arm or stuff. It's just stiff, like one movement or whatever. Like, where are the cool toys? Like, Todd McFarlane makes great toys. You know him?
Like real action figures.
Yeah, like these are like super opposable. However.
Yeah, every hand. It's like one of those, what do they call them?
Articulating or
whatever. Artists
whatever.
use them as just for the human body.
Oh, yeah.
Like that amount of articulation where you can move the joints and the wrists and all of it.
Yeah, he always had the great Spawn characters. And then he made other ones like Star Wars and stuff like that.
Yeah, he went into different licenses. Yep. He did DC comic stuff too, I think.
His DC stuff is crazy.
Yeah, it's really wild. Seth MacFarlane stuff is so cool. It's so neat to see an artist where it's, you may have never seen this piece before. Like maybe it's a new thing he's done. You immediately recognize his style. It's like, oh, that's a McFarlane.
Oh yeah, no, he goes out of his way to put crazy details in the figures, like and they're more for decoration, not so much for play. Especially the Spawn ones. They had the whole like scenery. You'd have like an alleyway that goes with it and a stand that goes there. Like it's meant to be looked at and appreciated. Some of them get crazy up in price, man. You pay $100-$200 for these statues.
Reminds me of the 40-year-old virgin, man. When he's got all those toys in the boxes and his little lady that he's falling in love with is like cracking his shell. You know what I mean? She's bringing his whole world down, crashing. She's like, oh man, that's a wild movie. We were laughing about that movie recently. About one of the scenes in that movie.
Oh, I keep forgetting. You know what? I remember that as like two different movies. Like I don't remember. Like that was the movie where he's working at
the Best Buy
Smart Tech.
Smart Tech, yeah, the Best Buy knockoff.
Whatever.
Yeah, Smart Tech.
That chick is funny.
Yeah, man.
Kevin Hart got a little man complex.
He had the V drums in his room. He had all the action figures up on the wall in the boxes. The Rock Band set. All the nerdy things that kids are supposed to like.
Is it nerdy?
No, it's not. Not at all. Not at all. I understand the toys in a box. I just hope that one day you're doing that so that you can sell them. I feel like a lot of people aren't going to be selling them though. So it's like, so why are you keeping it in the box? I don't know.
It depends who you are. I thought about it before what I sell, like a lot of the stuff I have, and I'm like, I don't have too much of an interest for it because I like it and appreciate it as a decoration.
Right.
And it's a reminder. It's a decoration and a reminder of different times of life. And I like that stuff. I like looking back at those are the toys that I used to play with, and it's like, there they are. I don't got to tell you I used to have it. I have it. There it is. It's cool in that way. Do I think about selling it? Some stuff I have that I was surprised at how like high up it went in value. I got some stuff that's like I bought for, there's games I bought for maybe like $40-$50 that are up there like $100-$150 now, like on eBay. Like,
yeah, I'm not much of a collector. I've never been. I don't really keep any of my keepsake stuff. I'm just not really that kind of person. I know a lot of people that are though. To me, it's just more shit I gotta move when we move.
Well, for
it's
video
like,
games,
am I just bringing this box everywhere I go now until I'm dead?
I never liked the idea. Like for video games specifically, I never liked to me, it's like if you're buying a game for $60 and you're trading it in, you might as well have rented it. Like, I know that it's not this is not freaking gold or silver. This is not going up in value. This is not an investment. It's still a hobby. But I always found it weird when people were like buying a game for $60, they'd beat it and trade it in. And I'm like, you should have just rented it then. You rented that game for $60. You could have rented it for $5.
Yeah.
Rent it, send it back, rent it again. I mean, you're still winning, but you're gonna pay for $60 and then go trade it in for 10. Doesn't sound like savvy business, but you spend your money how you want to spend it.
Yeah, like and not even just like games. I'm just talking like everything. Like I just don't have much stuff.
Yeah, people got the things they like.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. You think you don't have much stuff until you move, and then you go, man, I really have a lot more than I thought I did. It's like, what is all this shit? Why are we still holding on to this? Oh man, I heard somebody, and it really struck a chord with me. Like, if you haven't touched something in 6 months, you don't need it. And I was like, right? I got rid of so much crap a couple years ago.
It depends. There's tools I have that I could go a year without touching, and then I go do that job, and glad I got it. Like
that's different. That's a tool. You use it as a tool. I'm just saying, just crap, memento stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, no.
If you've got a place to display crap in your house, if you know what I mean, and you like having stuff out, word. We've just never lived in a big enough place where I could have it out presented nicely without it just seeming like freaking clutter everywhere.
I think everybody got at least a shoebox somewhere. With random stuff that if you go through, it's like, do you really want it? So yeah, keep it. I think most people, it's not there's more people than not that have a shoebox, that have
that's what I said earlier. I think
a case somewhere that has random.
Most people like to hold on to their stuff. Yeah, for sure. Why not? It's your stuff. I get it.
There's a weird attachment to the physical things.
Yeah. You know what I can't seem to figure out? My pillow situation. I have been tossing and turning and trying so many effing pillows over the last year or two that I cannot find a pillow that I like.
You should try a MyPillow.
I did try a MyPillow because everybody that has a MyPillow apparently wants to, I don't know if they're a side hustle as a My Pillow salesman, but I know many people that have been like, dude, are you kidding me? Stop your looking. It's a My Pillow. It's going to change your whole life, dude. You're going to get a job promotion, dude. You're going to get ripped. It's a My Pillow. And it's like, okay. And I tried the My Pillow, and it's one of those things. I think everybody is so different. You know what I mean? I'm sure it works. Clearly it works for a lot of people because a lot of people swear by them, but didn't work. I saw one the other day that made me laugh, but I'm at the point now where screw it. I'll try it. It's like literally a pillow cube. A pillow cube. I saw it on the internet. And they broke out this whiteboard, and they're like, because of the angle of the neck of the, and I'm like, and I'm sitting there like, they did a great job. It's a great sales pitch. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, maybe I need a pillow cube. Maybe it's a cube. Maybe I'm missing the cube in my life. I'm not going to try the pillow cube, I don't think, out of sheer ridiculousness, because it's literally a cube. I'm like, am I going to sleep on that? Really?
So
don't move.
You don't put a sheet on it either?
A sheet? What do you mean?
Like a cover. You put a cover or something.
A pillowcase?
Yeah.
Yes, I put pillowcases on my pillows.
No, on the cube.
Oh, okay. I was like, yes, dude.
So we just sweating into a cube.
No, I mean, I imagine they make a cover for it. Yeah, the cube.
So you got a proprietary cover you got to pay for on top of that.
Yeah, no,
That's nice.
yeah. Target doesn't have a wide selection of cube pillowcases.
So
No.
Now you got to go out and buy the cube pillowcase, and it's going to be $30 because it's the cube pillowcase.
Dude, I got this one recently. My mother-in-law, or my father-in-law, I guess she bought him a pillow. He didn't really enjoy it, so she was like, I have another one, and extra. I bought two of them. He doesn't like this one. Do you want one? I was like, yes, give me all the pillows, dude. I'm in a search. I'm in this voyage of sleep deprivation. And it was weird. It came like vacuum sealed. So it's you open it up, and I'm imagining this pillow was going to come out of the cover, and it was going to, slowly kind of start forming. Mm-hmm. It was one of those memory foams. Do you have to ask my wife about it? It's so funny. So I'm like, I'm really excited about this pillow. I'm like, okay, here we go. I unzip it and I pull it out, and it's like this thin. Like a size of a long pillow, and it's like this thin, and I'm like holding it. I'm like, is there an instruction manual? Like, what is this? And she was like, no, I think it just forms over time. I was like, well, how long do you think? Like, this is so silly. And sure enough, like I just had to sit there and just massage it and all this work. Turns out I hate it.
I don't know about that.
I can't stand this pillow. I want to get rid of this pillow. It's hot.
I don't know about that particular pillow, but one thing you could try, because some foam products, coincidentally, like some Oralex or some foam for sound absorption, some of them they tell you put it in warm water, let it soak for about an hour, then throw it in the dryer, and then that'll get its max. I've had two pillows now that the instruction said put it in the dryer. Yeah.
Before use, put it in the dryer. I'm like, okay, good gracious. Yeah, I can't find a pillow. So if anybody has a brand they'd like to recommend to your old boy here, I'd highly appreciative. I'd be very appreciative.
I got one from Bed Bath & Beyond that was like $80 or some crap like that, like years ago.
You like a firm pillow?
I still use it. Or it's kind of like it's a heavy, dense sponge, like heavy.
That's kind of what I like.
And then it's got a cooling layer, and it actually is kind of cold.
That's dope. I can't stand a freaking hot pillow, dude. I can't stand it.
Nah.
I just can't find one, man. It's super sad.
That's a super particular thing, though. That's tough. Mm-hmm. That's not like going to the shoe store and getting the sneaker you need, like you try on a whole bunch. It's like, I need to sleep with this. They got to have some kind of return policy. It's like, let me sleep with it for a week, and then if I can return it, then yeah.
I think My Pillow has a guarantee or something like that.
Yeah, they guarantee that they'll be out of business for running their mouth.
They're guaranteed to piss a lot of people off. Yeah, no. But you know what's funny? I've never had issues with pillows in my entire life until lately.
It's funny how the pains in the neck start after you get married. Disclaimer, that was Tony.
Tony's opinion does not reflect Tsunami Digital Media's. That's funny, man. Can't do it. I got to find a pillow. I got to find something, because every day I wake up, I'm like pissed off. That's not a way to start the day, because I've tossed and turned like 3 or 4 times during the evening, and I wake up.
Your pillow?
Yeah, I think it is my pillow. I think it's my pillow. I think it's my pillow.
In a former life, I should have been a psychiatrist.
Yeah. It's interesting. You think it's your pillow. Tell me more about it.
Tell me more about how annoying your pillow gets to you. You know, when your pillow comes home from work, are you really upset even more? Like,
do you feel like the pillow is carrying their weight of the responsibilities of the household?
When your pillow leaves, a dirty cup in the dish in the sink, do you,
Yeah, how do you talk? So talk to me like I'm your pillow.
Yeah, man.
Oh, that's funny, dude.
Now that I said psychiatrist, I was thinking the other day, like, I wonder who psychiatrists, like, do psychiatrists see other psychiatrists? I'd imagine
I've heard
you'd
this
have
joke.
to.
Yeah, it's like,
well, not even
got
joking.
to.
It's like, I'm thinking, like, if your job is to just be the sponge that absorbs people unpacking their darkest feelings and the grief and everything they go through, if that's your job day in and day out, to see multiple people a day, and they're just telling you everything that's going on, and you got to kind of have some kind of positive, you got to have a solution. Even if you're not sitting there saying it's going to be all right, guy, like, I'm sure there's some kind of solution. That's the point of your job.
Well, and I'm sure it takes a toll.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so do psychiatrists, like, do they suffer crazy depression and they got to go see psychiatrists themselves? And like,
wouldn't surprise me.
And who's the psychiatrist for the psychiatrist? That's for the psychiatrist. Like,
do we know any psychiatrists? I wonder.
I'm a venture to say I don't.
I don't think I do either. I don't know any psychiatrists, like friends or family that were psychiatrists. I don't think so. Yeah, that's a good.
I was thinking about that the other day though. Like, I don't know what I was watching. I'm like, yo, like, who really? It's funny we talk about this with like pastors. Like, who prays for your pastors? Are you praying for your pastor? Like, they have a similar responsibility. A lot of people in their community, in their church, will unpack their entire life. Here are the problems I'm having with my kids, with my husband, with my job, and it's like, do you ever think
that is
the load that you are unburdening yourself by giving to somebody else to just, here, do what you will with it, I'm leaving now. That's tough. And you know what's funny? That's part of the reason why I don't complain as much. I do complain. Disclaimer. I complain a lot. A lot of times I don't complain to the fullest extent. I don't wear my heart on my sleeve as much because I wonder about that. I'm like, I don't need to put my burdens on somebody else. It's like, what is it? I'll deal with it myself. That's good and bad, unhealthy, or whatever.
Well, you got people in your life that love you, man, and it would help share that for sure.
Yeah, but I think about stuff like that. I'm like, you get that off your shoulders to put it on somebody else's. It's like, sometimes, not everything. Not everything. Yeah. But that just occurs to me sometimes. And a lot of times I could be more reserved because I'm just like, I'll just eat this one by myself. Like,
psychiatry and pillows, ladies and gentlemen. This is what you come here for.
Well, psychiatrists will put you on a pillow.
Yeah.
I never went to a psychiatrist. Sometimes I got friends, I was about to say a name on accident.
But
I got friends that go to psychiatrists regularly, and they say that it's really good. I had a friend that told me, you don't go to a psychiatrist when things are bad. You just go because that's what you go. You do that. You go for a professional that can help you take care of your mental health and help give you some perspective.
Yeah. A neutral third party. I've done it a few times.
They say it's great. They say it's good to unburden yourself and work through some feelings or whatever. And sometimes, it could be very helpful. So I hear. I'm not opposed to the idea. I think the stigma is going away quite a bit.
Oh yeah, mental health is huge, dude. I had I can kind of laugh about it now. At the time, it was not funny. Back a while back when I moved back to the area, I was going through some stuff, some life-changing stuff, and I went and saw a psychiatrist for a little bit, and it was this guy.
Psychiatrist, therapist, is it the same thing? Is there a difference?
I'm sure there is. Maybe. I mean, I went to go talk to somebody. I'll say that. And he was a young guy. He was like my age. It was crazy. I was like, yo, I don't know what my expectation was going in there, but maybe I was thinking it was going to be somebody older, right? But it was like a younger guy.
Yeah.
Because I'm so young. And this guy was amazing. And I did 2 sessions with him. And I go to schedule my third, and the dude just was gone. Like, he just moved out of the area. Didn't tell anybody. He just left. The lady at the front desk was like, "Yeah, I'm so sorry, such and such. He, he's no longer with us." I was like, "What do you mean? What are you talking about?" She was like, "Yeah, he kind of out of the blue, kind of left the firm, or not the firm, but whatever, the office, and he moved out of the area." And I was just like, "No, this dude got me, man," because he was telling stuff about me that was like, he doesn't know me, and he's like, "Do you do this?" And he would say some stuff, and I would go, "Yes." And he goes, "That's interesting. Okay." And he listened really well, obviously, as they tend to do. But he was amazing. And I felt he was really putting me on a new path, man. And then he just freaking vanished. I was so upset. Like, it really hurt. Like, I was like, oh my God. I felt like somebody I could finally latch onto. That wasn't my parents. I had their own version of what happened and what they wanted to see happen. It was just somebody else. And he left. And it was so sad. I was really, really affected by that for a long time. But anyway, so I've had a couple of really, really great experiences talking to somebody.
So did you ever have the experience where your parents would tell you something like, go cut the grass? And this is parallel to what we're talking about. I'm going to go a long way around. You ever have like a chore where your parents expect you to cut the grass or
just go and do something?
Go mow the lawn. Have you had this experience where you had to do that?
I've been told to mow the lawn, yes.
Did your friends ever say, come mow the lawn with me at their house?
No.
So I've had this
I didn't
experience.
have many friends.
Maybe that's not a good example, but I've had this experience where my parents would say, you know, I expect you to have the lawn mowed or whatever, right? And you do it begrudgingly. Mm-hmm. Then when your friends say it, you go over there and it's like exciting. Yeah, I'm going to go over there and cut grass. And it's real interesting to me when, because you mentioned this guy gets me. And it made me think in life, a lot of times people around us that love us will tell us exactly what we need to hear. Mm-hmm. I just don't need to hear it from you. Is the attitude. And that's weird. I don't know what that's about.
Well, I think it's you spend every single waking moment of your parent, you know, in your life with your parents, and you've had a lot of issues and arguments with your parents and disagreements with your parents and experiences with your parents. So you've kind of already. But
these are the people that you should trust more than anything. Mm-hmm. Like they're the ones that give me the information that's not going to hurt me, not a complete stranger that doesn't know me at all. Mm-hmm. That could disappear by the third session.
My gosh.
It's just weird how the brain works. I'm not making a critique, just an observation and just finding it curious how human, just like the relationship you have with your parents, your friends, your loved ones, those are the people that ideally you would think they have your back. And even if they say something that's hurtful or that hurts you, maybe it's not hurtful, but it did hurt you, you received it that way. It's like, why are we so defensive as people towards the people we love? Like, it's weird. Again, I don't have an answer, but hearing that, I put myself in those shoes and I'm like, these are the people that I know have my back. I know. There's no question.
Yeah.
But to hear exactly what I know to be true, why does it immediately like get under the skin? It's like, that's offensive.
It's funny.
It's like, why? Did they lie?
Are you talking about me and my wife? Because
that's funny. That's crazy.
No, but it's funny because we laugh about it, but it is true. Because Bree will tell me things over and over again about like either my health or you know, I'll give you an example. It's like, let's say there's a food that I liked and she was like, hey, you probably shouldn't be eating that. It's full of chemicals and crap. I'm like, yeah, if it's killing me, do you think they'd still be in business, Bree? Like, do you think they'd still be on store shelves if this was really causing cancer or something like that? But it's funny. She'll tell me that. If the moment I read about it on my own or somebody else tells me about it, then I start going, that's interesting.
So I guess
it's not that I don't listen to my wife. I listen to her wholeheartedly. I love her to death. But it just to kind of go along with it.
I don't listen to my wife.
Like, it's funny, just like the moment, you know, like my buddy Ben would tell me something, but like, oh, you know, it's funny, Bree mentioned that. Yeah, maybe that is right. And then Bree would like, excuse you, and we laugh about it. But to go along with it, it's funny.
It is true. And then it's like, do you hurt your relationships on the other side? Yeah. It depends how perceptive your friends and family are. Because some people might see that and notice it. It's like, hey, I noticed I told you this, that, and the other, and you blew me off and rolled your eyes. And when this guy told you, all of a sudden, he's a genius.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, maybe I am not whatever I thought I was in your life. But again, this is just random observations because that made me think about when I was a kid. And I remember those situations. It'd be like, go cut the grass. It'd be like when my dad said, hey, we got to go work on this car. And I'd be like, are you serious? Like, and I'd go do it like upset, frustrated. I'm like, my friends are playing and now I got to sit under this car. Things today that are incredibly valuable now. I didn't understand when I was 10 years old why I had to go lay under a car with my dad, him explaining to me what's going on with this car. And I could look over and see my friends playing at the park because we would literally fix the car in front of the townhouse where we're at, and then across the street was a park where all my friends were at. So I'd be working on the car in the middle of summer, looking over like my friends over there laughing and playing. I'm like, yeah. But then soon as another friend, his dad said, hey, come help me with the car. It's like, hey, Tony, you want to come help? Of course.
Yeah.
What's that about? Like, it's just weird. It is
funny. This is double standard.
I think in man, as far as the human race, there is a rebellion. That's why we believe that man's nature is like sinful. Well, there's this rebellion to just any authority. And he had like, nah, I just want to do different. Even if it's perfectly fine, it's what's best for me. It's like, just because you said so, I want to do different. It's weird. And all of us I think we have varying levels of that. Some of us show that more rebellious and more aggressively, like, no. Others might just pout or whine and just kind of put like a, geez.
Yeah, or just, shove it down and
but I think for sure, the humanity is born with like a level of rebellion. Like, I'm going to carve my own path. You can't tell me nothing. I tell some of my adult friends now, being 35, I still have friends that are like, I got friends that are like 50 years old. Through church, I got a wide range of friends. Like, some are like older adults, some are very young. Some of the adult, more advanced adults, it's not like, 45, 50. I tell them, I'm like, when you've got younger kids, no matter what you do, your kid is going to have a span of time. Victor is going to go through it. Hector's going to go through it. Annalise is going to go through it. These kids will have a moment where you don't know anything, where they are smarter than you and you are the dumbest person they ever met. There's going to be like a thing like, no, Dad, you don't know what you're talking about. I got this because in school, because whatever, because my teacher, whatever. There's going to be a moment of challenge. That's part of like the growth or whatever. Like somewhere in the hormones or whatever, it's like, I'm an adult, I'm independent, and I'm going to push the boundaries a little bit.
They call that being autonomous, the autonomy stage. Where they just, I know it all.
And I tell parents sometimes, I'm like, listen, if you don't know it, because it's weird. It's funny how, like, me being 35, I have kids older than some adults that are older than me. Like, I'm finding that very weird. Like, I know people that are like 10 years older than me that have kids that are like 10 years old. So I'm telling them about my 14-year-old, and I'm telling them about, and I'm like, I think as a parent, you just got to remember that the kid is not doing this because they do not like you. It's not that they love you any less. I think the brain is firing off and the body is changing and there's hormones going on where, yes, they're going to have to start challenging authority a little bit to different extents, and learning where the boundaries are and learning where they want to go in life. It's like, push through it. It's fine. Because I use my own experience from maybe from 15 to like early 20s. I had every answer for everything. And Jerome will tell me that I still think I have every answer for everything.
You do. You do.
But from like 15 to 20 something, I had every answer for everything. And then it wasn't until like about 30 when like now I understand, like, my father knows a lot more than I assumed. There's way more help in that relationship than I thought there was. It's not somebody that just wants to discipline over and over with no kind of positivity or no kind of like solution. Because in my experience, I went through a childhood where I thought that the role of a parent was to consistently tell you everything you did wrong. That's what I thought it was. But I was wrong about that. And time proved that to be that I was incorrect. And I lived to be 30 years old, and I understand it a whole lot more now.
I did this the other day with Victor. It's funny you mentioned this because I think it's all age groups. My son is 7 and going on 30, as they say. It's so silly. He did something, and I was like, son, let me ask you this. If you were the parent of me and I just did that, what would you tell me? And it's funny. He immediately goes, I would say, stop it, go to your room. And I'm like, yeah, I don't do that. Yet he is kind of outwardly just getting all this aggression, like, you know what I mean? So it's like, even though I don't talk to him that way, I mean, sometimes, but most times we talk it through. I go, son, is that what I would say? Yes. And I go, no, that's not what I would say. So it's interesting that their perception sometimes is not reality. Especially the younger kids. You know what I mean? I always loved that in early childhood. I would ask, they'd do something. I'm like, well, what should you have done? Well, this. I'm like, okay, so what do you think we should do now? I mean, do you think you should go outside, or do you think maybe you stay
take your own
me?
Punishment?
Mm-hmm. And it's always fun. It's funny to just see their little, I don't know. I'm like, oh, you don't know? All right, well, you better figure it out. No. Oh, by the way, we're having a baby. We can finally say that on the podcast.
There you go. Hey.
There you go. Hey.
Surprise.
Surprise. A couple episodes back, I almost screwed it up.
Yeah, you did.
I almost screwed it up.
We talked about
bad.
dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs in space. And I was like, because we're having a boy. We're having a boy, by the way, baby boy. And I was talking about my mother-in-law talking about, you want dinosaurs or space for the kid? And I was just like, oh man, is it all right? It's dinosaurs Dinosaurs in Space, which I think is awesome.
Why does it have to be one or the other?
That's what I'm saying.
How come it can be Dinosaurs in Space?
Why couldn't it have been just wood carving or something?
No, Dinosaurs in Space.
No, it's Dinosaurs in Space. No. Yeah, Dinosaurs in Space.
That's what I'm saying. Like, put a helmet on a T-Rex.
There you go, baby.
Let's let it rock.
So that's pretty exciting, man. We're excited about that.
That is exciting times.
Yeah, man. It's my mom this morning was like, "Are you ready? Are you ready to be running around with the baby?" I was like, "Mom, not that old. Like, calm down. You're acting like I'm that whole thing." I'm not ready. This may or may not make sense depending on how I articulate this. I'm not even going to articulate it correctly, but you don't have to get ready for a baby. No,
I don't think you have to get ready. When the baby comes, you are ready.
Yeah,
there is. I never felt like there's something to say about financially if you want to look at the material things, right? Yes. I think when we're talking about ready, like when your mom says, "Are you ready?" We're talking about mentally.
I think she was just when she said to be chasing that baby around.
Well, that's
physically,
but that's all in the spirit. That's all in what you in here. It's a hard thing, right? Like, are you ready? You are ready.
Of course,
there is no getting ready for that.
Done it.
Even if you've never had a baby, so you'd be surprised how ready you are. The moment that I think most people, you can't speak for everybody on the planet. I'm sure that there's people
there's plenty of people that
for some reason the parenting changes nothing in their life. I don't get it. Yeah. I would think that for most people, as soon as you see that baby for the first time, you are ready. There's so many instincts that kick on so quickly.
Yeah, it's weird, man. When Vic was born, I was like you said, I was very comfortable. My mother-in-law at the time, my ex-wife's mom, was always like, "Are you sure you don't have another kid we don't know about?" And I was like, "Shut the hell up." But she was saying because I was just really good with the baby. It did kind of come naturally. I'm sure it comes more natural to some people than others. But and I tell people that are gonna have a baby, like Ben and JoJo are having a baby, and it's like there's no real amount of preparation you could do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I guess, yeah, like you said, material stuff. I got all the stuff. I got all the things it needs, and then it's just like, buckle up, baby.
You know what's funny?
You just got to go with it, man. Especially the first one. Oh, that was so frightening, dude.
And the one thing people that have 2 and 3 kids that they've gone through this before that can help the first time parent is where not to spend your money. Because I could tell you something.
Yeah, this is interesting. From 2 dads, here we go.
By the second and third one, I'm telling you, I bought virtually like nothing for the third baby.
Yes,
dude. It's like. No, you don't need all that stuff. That's stuff that sits in the kitchen cabinets. You thought you needed 3 bottle warmers. You thought you needed the freaking the brush that goes into the thing. You thought you needed 20 pacifiers. I needed the strap that goes in the front to carry the baby. You thought you needed all these things. That stuff just stays in the closet. It's like you never have too many diapers. You never have too many wipes. And depending on
articles of clothing too.
Yeah, it's like clothes, and it's like and here's the thing for like and most people know this that have done baby showers and I've gifted their friends stuff for their baby. Get them stuff that's like 2-3 months ahead too, because a lot of people's instinct is newborn. That stuff that's quick.
2 months.
That's gone. I can't use that anymore. Like start getting them the 6 month, the 12 month.
This is Bree's first baby, so it's like she's
no, she needs everything. I need the books. I didn't have to deal with the books, but I know people think I need the books.
Yeah, we don't. I
need the
books,
bottle warmers. I need the this. I need the that. It's like, hey,
yeah.
And here's the thing, not to get too personal, because every woman makes a decision. But if you are breastfeeding, you need even less. You need even less. Like some things you will need now that's different, because if she's doing that, there's like pumps and different things you got to get and all that stuff, and that's super personal because everybody likes different types of products. But you don't need as much as people might make you think you need, or the store might advertise that you need.
When I was in the Marine Corps, we used to call those Marines because there were the Marines that wanted all the gear. All the cool gear, all of it. I want all the gear, and I want to go, and I want all the coyote stuff, and the all the holsters and the slings and the knives and all this stuff. And we'd call them. I won't say it on the podcast, but we had a name for those guys.
Was it a curse
word? Kinda. I'll tell you off the air. All you Marines know what it is. Something to do with gear. So,
okay,
you know what I mean. So I just. Maybe you like those things. Maybe, and it's all good. You know what I told my wife? I said, go get it.
Oh, no.
Go get it.
That's where you and I differ a little bit, and that's fine too.
Go get it.
I've had to like constantly debate and kind of manage it, because here's the thing too.
Go get it.
You could go get it to ruin. Like you could go get it and then realize you ain't paying that light bill. Because I went and got the bottle.
Of course not. But I'm just saying.
No,
like,
but it can get that way. Like it's like this is managing. It's like that's why like if you were having your first baby, it's gonna be the most beautiful thing in the world.
Here's what I think you need. Ready? You need the you need some onesies. You need some diapers,
blankets.
You need a shit ton of wipes.
Yeah.
And then you need blankets maybe. I don't know. That's
you need some blankets.
Blankets to swaddle them up.
Yeah, you need some
and
blankets.
then I'll tell you the one thing I really enjoyed having with Victor when he was a baby was the boppy pillow, like the airline pillow, the big one, but the bigger size one.
Yeah, the big horseshoe.
Yeah, so they can. I had him in that. Oh, and I'll tell you one thing: pack and play. Pack and play. Gotta have a pack and play, dude.
Yeah.
Because then, dude, pack and play as a stay-at-home dad, that was a godsend. I was like, man, I gotta take a freaking shower. What do you do with a newborn? You wheel that pack and play in there. You don't steam out the joint, but they're right there, and I could just go. You're not dead? Okay, good.
Yeah, we got
Get
one.
back to scrubbing. That's really kind of all you need. Maybe some binkies, some passies.
And like I say before, you can slow walk this whole thing, man. When you have a baby, you will be making a lot of trips to the store. So don't feel like you have to buy everything ahead of time. Buy a little bit, see what you need, and keep it moving. Because if you sit there with the preparation of your mother told you buy all these things, it's like, relax.
Hey, and you know what? If you go out and buy it all and you don't end up using it, then you tell your buddy or your friend next time when they're having a baby what you don't need. It's all part of the process, baby.
Yeah, no. And enjoy it, but you will enjoy it more if you don't have to put yourself in financial ruin and you're looking around the house like all this stuff that you really didn't need.
Yeah.
You used once or twice, the special bottle washer and stuff like that. And it's funny, like, I don't know if you're going to have this experience, but it's a joke that we have. Like, it's like with each baby, we get less and less careful. It's like with the first baby.
This is a universal truth.
With the first baby, it's like you're sanitizing the pacifier and stuff like that. By the third baby, there's like a fall in the dirt, roll on it. You're like,
dude, I put it in my mouth. Okay, clean. There you go.
Like,
boom. Yeah.
So that third baby is like immune to every disease because
God, that first,
like the first one, you're like, yo, be careful, hold them.
I'll do the nick.
The third one, you're like, yo, leave it. All right, it's fine. This ain't gonna die.
Just fucking hold it.
I have learned that these babies are a little more resilient than we give them credit.
They're very resilient, and they're very malleable. They can go in weird positions, and they're fine. They have like bendable bone.
Oh yeah, no, they can put their foot in their mouth. Like you watch a baby they'll put their foot in their mouth.
Super flexible.
Yeah, no,
very malleable. Anyway,
all right.
So very exciting. All right, we'll talk more about babies another time. This was fun. I hope you guys liked it. More to come. More to come.
Or less. I don't know. We're lazy people.
Yeah. That means more money being spent, and I don't know if we're all down for that. I'm Matt.
I'm Tony.
And this is the Tsunami Podcast.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I am worthy of every